Good afternoon, ma'am. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Lillian Spires.
Thank you, Ms. Spires. Ms. Spires, you're here on a Superior Court probation violation warrant for alleged violations of terms 1, 14, and 15. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a probation hearing August 19th, 8:30 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. I am affirming bond. It's a cash-only bond, the amount of $5,000. So you can pay it directly. I believe you can work with a bail bonding company or other lending company. I don't know what their terms would be, but if you pay your bond, you'll be released. You're then promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You're also promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. Plus, you're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol. You must submit the fingerprinting at the arresting police department, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. Ms. Spires, do you have any questions?
Is that still 10% of $5,000?
No. So cash only. So secured appearance is where you can do 10%. Cash only. Again, I'm saying I think you can still work with a lending institution or a bail bonding company, but there's no guarantee that it would be 10%.
I just finally got a job, and now I don't know how I keep it, but I just got my own apartment, and I'm just finally getting bills paid and getting everything going. I don't even know why I got arrested this morning, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
I was completely unaware of it, but I just got myself into therapy too, and I've just been getting a lot of things started that I really don't want to stop.
Yeah, and Ms. Spires, here's the issue, is that the alleged violations here, 1, 14, and 15, are all pretty directly related to the original, conviction in your case. And I mean, some pretty egregious.
I'm willing to do any kind of classes and everything I can, just so I can keep going as a normal life.
Well, yeah, but Ms. Spires, this is where it's on you. I mean, these are some pretty egregious violations of it. I mean, minimally, because I can go into them with you if you want, but minimally, I mean, you're not supposed to have a smartphone, have the apps on it that you're supposed to have, and so this is where, I mean, you're controlling your future.
And it's been really hard to get a job, and now that I finally have one, any devices that I had, I gave them up and told my probation officer, which it was just my smartphone, but it's just been really hard with my rules and terms, and I have been speaking with my probation officer about all this, and we've worked with some terms, but now I just have a flip phone, and I'm just call and text, and I'm completely okay with that. I'm getting a full-time job, and I have lined up weeks of interviews. I'm really trying really hard, and
yeah. So, Ms. Spires, I mean, this was the probation judge setting a $5,000 cash-only bond. When a probation judge sets a bond like that, I'm really not in a position to change it. So the probation judge that you'll see on your next court date on the 19th, they may decide to modify it. But again, I'm not in a position to be able to do that. And again, I would encourage you to remember that you have control over what happens in your future. And violating probation is not ever going to be the way to get through this. Probation is a privilege that you don't have to go to prison. So, good luck to you, Ms. Spires. All right, Stephen Strike. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Good afternoon. Stephen Strike.
Thank you, Mr. Strike. Mr. Strike, you're here on a Superior Court grand jury warrant. You are charged with 1 count of continuous sexual abuse of a child, which is a Class 2 felony. I've appointed you an attorney. You have an arraignment hearing August 16th, 8:30 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. And I do need to edit this. I am affirming the bond. It's a cash-only bond in the amount of $300,000. However, Mr. Strike, it is my understanding that you currently are in DOC custody, or at least there's a DOC hold. So even if you pay that bond, you will not be released. If your term in DOC custody does end, then you could pay the bond and you would have an ankle monitor and pretrial services supervision. You also have the standard conditions and restrictions of release, plus you're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime, you're not to initiate contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses, or have any physical contact with any alleged victims. You're to have no contact with any minors. There are no exceptions to that. You're not to possess any weapons. You must obey the terms of any order of protection or injunction against harassment, and you must submit to DNA and fingerprinting at the arresting police department. Mr. Strike, do you have any questions?
Yes, sir. Will you be overseeing my entire proceedings all the way through trial?
No, I won't. I only handle initial appearance, just this, and so you will have a judge that will oversee those proceedings.
Okay. In designating the attorney that you've appointed for me, is this a public defender?
Correct. I've appointed you a public defender. You can certainly hire counsel if you wish to do so.
No, sir. By this question, please understand, I do not mean to demean the quality of counsel available to me through the public defender's office. I have no experience with the public defender's office in Arizona at all. I do know that I am facing a very serious charge in what is a very complex case that stretches out over a period of years and covers multiple states. And I was wondering if it turns out that the public defender's office does not have the time and resources necessary to provide a vigorous defense for this case, would you consider designating a court-appointed attorney with a private firm who has more resources available?
So that would be a good question for the next judge that is to come.
Okay.
And I can tell you that there's many excellent public defenders that do have resources and have experience with these types of cases.
Yeah, okay.
But if you think that you need somebody different, I mean, you're certainly welcome to look into the public defenders. You're welcome to, ask questions, make requests along those lines, but it's not anything that I can do anything about today.
Okay, no, I'm just I'm trying to find my way through a system I'm not familiar with, and like I said, I don't doubt that it's possible that the public defender you appointed could provide me excellent counsel. I would hope so.
Yes, I would hope so too.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Strike. All right.